All right. Good evening and welcome into the Bro Dads. Oh, shit. No, it's the Stand Up Snobs podcast. Motherfucker. It's your host, Jay Berg and
Colton Drake.
Yeah, everybody. We're back for episode, I believe, 17 now.
Damn.
Might be 18. No, it's 18. Episode 18 with Andrew Schulz. Everybody. Colton has had a comedy boner for the last week, just thinking about doing this episode. Then he got to watch the episode, and watch the show, and now he's just over here just beaming, just about to burst with
So
comedic
good.
energy. How did you do last week? How was last week, buddy?
How was last week? Last week was good. I didn't work.
Cool.
Not because I didn't want to, but just because I've worked.
Builder didn't pay their bills. Dude.
Yeah,
That's what
Builder's not paying bills, dude. So
all right.
I had a pretty chill week.
All right. So not much anything. Played some Fortnite with Bev.
I played some Fortnite with Bev. Yeah, we
Nice.
did that. And then pretty much just
Yeah.
tried to do every open
We
mic
went
I
out
could.
on Saturday.
Yep.
Right on. Yeah, so that was, I had a pretty normal ass week. Didn't get fired yet, so that's good.
That's
and then, just hanging out, watching comedy, going to comedy, doing comedy stuff, and not really much else. So a pretty simple week for me. Didn't do a lot.
It's a great week.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't great, but it was okay.
Any week you don't get fired, it's probably pretty good, though.
Yeah, it's pretty good. That's pretty good. It's coming. We'll see what happens later.
Have you been fired before?
Yeah, I've been fired before. I got fired on Labor Day once.
Really?
I went into the office on Labor Day, and we do not work on Labor Day.
Uh-huh.
And my boss was in there, and he's like, "Oh, since you're here," and he brought me in. He's like, "Yeah, we can't really afford it, dude. You got to get out of here."
What?
Yeah.
Was it? Okay, so it was more just like budget cut. That's more laid off then,
I mean,
right?
I guess you can call it. Does it really matter? At the
Well,
end
they're
of the
not
day,
like,
it's
hey,
the
you were
same
smoking
thing. You know
weed
what I
in the parking lot. We got to get rid of you.
Dude. No, it was heroin. No, it was foilies. It was foilies. I was doing in the parking lot. Both of them. It was both of them. No, I didn't. No, it was just a matter of it, but it didn't have the budget for it. I wasn't bringing in a ton of money.
Gotcha.
That's also the guy who told me when he fired me. I just say fired. There's no layoff, fired. It's the same thing. But I would just say it's the same. He had to cut me. And
laid off is just a nice way to fire somebody.
yeah, exactly. I mean, it's like, we don't hate you, but you're fired.
Yeah. We think you're a nice guy, but
Yeah, but yeah, he actually told me because I started doing comedy, but before that was when I first was dabbling in comedy many years ago. And he's like, if you really like comedy, you should just go do comedy. And I was like, are you telling me I'm a shit lawyer? I think that's what he was doing. He's like, you're not a good lawyer, my guy. You better go find a different profession.
that's as a matter of fact, we don't have room in the budget for you anymore.
Yeah, we don't have room in the budget for you, and no firm should either. No other firm should hire you.
Why don't you go lean into a profession that doesn't pay a whole bunch?
Yeah, absolutely. Do comedy for $14 a year.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was my last week. New listeners, Colton. No new listener areas this week.
Yep. It's
You know what I mean? No new countries, no new states. Hey, friggin' Uzbekistan, get off your rocker here. Come
Other
over here and
states.
help us out, man. Other states, whatever ones we don't have. I don't know which ones we don't have.
Are you hearing a weird thing in your headphones?
No, are you? I mean, I have I have constant tinnitus, so that. But
Tendonitis?
do you hear something? You hear something weird in your
A
headphones?
little bit of a ring. Yeah, it's starting to go around. Starting to go away. It made just like a weird.
I just turned something off, so maybe that helped.
Okay. Yeah, I don't hear
All right.
anything anymore.
Yeah, I couldn't hear it because I can always hear it ringing because I'm getting old. I have tinnitus, so
My bad.
that's all right, no problem. So that's the story. No new listenership. So tell all your friends in different countries and states. Let them know that the greatest podcast in the world is still in search of more listeners.
We've gotten so much better at our geometry since
so good, dude.
we've been paying attention to it.
So good, dude.
Yeah.
Who knows what all 5 boroughs of New York are?
We do.
Yeah,
Yeah, we looked it up.
absolutely, we did. Last episode,
The
if you
Bronx and
remember.
Brooklyn, not the same.
Not the same.
Check it out.
Not even the same. Look at this guy. He's like a scholar.
Dude, I know stuff now.
He's like a Rhodes scholar.
I know stuff. I was going to try to pull out that city that you had the last
Jakarta?
Jakarta.
Yeah,
I couldn't
Jakarta.
remember it. That would sound so cool.
Yeah,
if I
I
had
know.
it.
I don't even know if that is. I never did check to see if that was accurate or not. Doesn't matter.
No, it sounds like an alien spaceship.
Doesn't matter at all. It is actually.
Yeah, Jakarta.
The spaceship Jakarta. Yeah. Absolutely. So beer of the week this week, Michelob Ultra. You
Michelob
guys.
Ultra.
Cheers.
Let's cheers
my
'em.
guy. Yeah. Michelob Ultra,
Touch tips.
local brewery here in the Michelob area of Spokane.
The Ultra supplier.
Yep, the Michelob Ultra. Of course, lower carb count than your average beer.
2.6.
Boom.
Suck it.
Suck it down.
Suck it down. That's what Michelob would say.
That's the beer of the week. What do you say we get on to old Andrew Schulz?
Let's do it. The boy.
Here is Andrew Schulz himself. This is the trailer for his most recent Netflix special called Life.
I walked in that hospital with so much confidence. They handed me a cup. I'm handing them back a martini. I'm ready. Remember, I went in the room. I jerked off. I opened my eyes. I looked down. I thought I missed. There was so little sperm in this cup, I could have counted them individually. There was a red line on the cup 3/4 of the way up. For what fucking reason, I do not know to this day. 3/4 of the way. What zoo animal hippopotamus cups are you giving out to people? Why are you even giving me a cup? Give me a contact lens case. I'll turn that shit into a Guinness. Have it foaming at the top and everything. Let it settle, nurse. Let it settle. You never had a Guinness before?
All right, there it was. That was the trailer for Andrew Schulz's most recent special called Life. It was on Netflix. It is his 5th comedy special overall, and that doesn't include a crowd work special. His 2nd on Netflix, and his 3rd in the last, say, 5 years or so that haven't been his 3rd non-self-produced one.
And it's his first stand-up special on Netflix.
He also has a crowd work special. I think I mentioned that. You probably know him from one of his 2 podcasts that are quite popular. The Flagrant podcast he does with Akash Singh, who you might remember we did in episode like 5 or 6 or some shit like that.
Yep, Gaslit.
Yeah. And you also might know him as one of the Brilliant Idiots on Brilliant Idiot podcast with Charlemagne the God. I am not talking
from the Breakfast Club.
From the
Breakfast Club. There's a morning show in New York.
Yeah. So you got that. Or you might know him from Guy Code, or you might know him from the series Tires with Shane Gillis. That's more recent. And then, did you know his mother was a ballroom dancer? Did you know that?
Mm-hmm.
Of course you did.
Yeah.
You've been slobbing his knob for long enough. You know all that shit. His dad was a reporter and military veteran. Andrew Schulz started podcasting in the mid-2000s at his college. You know, he went to school. Let's see what we do with all the quiz on Andrew Schulz here.
Or he went to school?
Yeah, where did he go to college?
Easy. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know.
Oh, shit. He went to UC Santa Barbara, so California, Santa Barbara, which is a little bit surprising since he's a New York guy. Mm-hmm. New York. I'm going to Cali for my... Yeah, dude. What a bitch. No, I just have to be mean because Colton's going to be too nice. So I have to be unnecessarily mean. Yeah, so that's interesting, right? He started at UCSB.
There you go. Why don't you put that Michelob down?
Really interesting. And yeah, started in the mid-2000s. Came back to New York to keep it going, and he's been doing stand-up ever since. That is Andrew Schulz. So let's just move on to overall impressions, man. I thought it was horrible. No, I didn't. I thought it was very good. It wasn't. I wouldn't say it's my favorite. It's not even my favorite special of his, but it's very good. It's very good.
The GOAT. And
GOAT, that's one?
Yeah, it's the GOAT. That's 2.
It's the GOAT? It's the GOAT?
It's the GOAT, yeah.
This is the best album of all time. This is the best stand-up special of all time.
No, I'm saying Andrew's the best stand-up, in my opinion. GOAT.
Oh, but we said it's the GOAT.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's like, it's him, you know.
Got it.
Yeah, dude, I loved it. I knew I was going to love it regardless, just because I like his style and his sense of humor.
Okay, yeah. I mean, it's good. It has a lot of packs a lot of jokes into it. It's quick moving. It's good.
Yeah,
it's very good.
If you have a good ear for stand-up, you would know. It's incredible.
If you don't like it, you're pussy.
You're dumb.
You're dumb.
Probably not very smart. Yeah, dude. How many times did you watch it? Twice?
Watched it twice.
You watched it twice?
Yep. Watched it twice. Barely made it through the first time, so I'm shocked that I made it through the second time.
Yeah.
No, it was great. Actually, yeah, I liked it better the first time than the second time, just because then the jokes were brand new rather than just new. But yeah, solid jokes, a lot of tags. Yeah, so
this one was a little bit different for him because he's not usually he's talking about fun subjects or, he always kind of goes into the racial kind of sense of humor, whatever, does some jokes like that. But this was more personal to him. So it was his first special where it comes out and it's more like about him and what he's going through in his life and not just jokey jokes the whole time.
Yeah.
So it was kind of a different angle to see.
Yeah,
from him.
Basically the entire special revolves around his child. I mean, him and his wife having a child and the process they've got to get there.
Right.
They ended up having a child via in vitro fertilization. So he went through the whole process of like not being able to have a kid and like what they had to do and some other things they could try and all that kind of stuff. So it definitely was a more personal side of him that I've ever seen, but I don't follow.
Well, in the specials, that's why the special was called Life too.
Yeah.
I one thing I wanted to bring up before we even get too far into it.
Go for it.
Is okay. Well, the first joke, right? The first joke he tells the joke. He like sets up this New York joke, right? Joke about New York.
Yeah.
And then it goes into the introduction after that.
Yep.
Right. So he opens with the joke. And then there's an introduction. He walks out to a 50 Cent song.
Maybe 3.
Yeah. Walks out to 50 Cent, I think.
His dad introduces him.
Yep.
Walks out to whatever song he just said. Sure.
Yeah. I think it was 50 Cent.
Okay.
And then he goes in, he starts talking about how like the struggle with, or more like what it's like being a new dad kind of, and them first like getting their baby and his wife going through labor. Right.
Okay.
And then he goes on to tell the story of them having a hard time getting pregnant. Right. Which I thought that was an interesting way to position that, because it was almost like he skipped forward in time just to go back to explain.
Okay.
And
so
I almost feel like
in terms of it wasn't chronological, is what you're saying.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I almost feel like he had to do that maybe just to kind of lighten the mood of things, so everybody kind of knows like, oh, they had a baby, right? So then when he can kind of get into telling him the struggle with it, I think that was, I think
that's probably true. That's probably true. Of course, you wouldn't want to. If there's still, if you don't know for sure that they're going to have a kid, it is a downer when he starts talking about how much trouble they're having.
Yeah.
Potentially. I mean,
yeah.
I don't know. I think there's a pretty good idea they're going to have a kid if he's talking about it the whole time on his special. If he just edited it with, and then she's had a miscarriage. Yeah. Woo. See you. Good night. You know what I mean? Like, that'd be fucking insane. So,
right.
Yeah. So it's not. Yeah.
But even to go through everything, all the struggle they had without mentioning that they had the baby.
Sure.
Until like later on, I think that would just kind of give it a different vibe.
Sure.
So I think that was probably a wise play.
Yeah. I agree.
As far as like structure.
I agree. You wanted to get that out of the way. That was important.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. Did we cover it as well as you wanted to, or do you have anything?
No, that's just what I want to say about the very beginning.
All right.
I just kind of thought that was interesting.
All right. Well, so overall impressions, we gave them, and then let's do a visual / Fashionisto review. This was filmed somewhere in New York. I didn't look at the theater. It was a nice theater.
Yep. Okay.
Go ahead.
Fashionisto. So, the cool thing about this theater, it seemed like when he came out, the last time he came out for the infamous special, he had that Bruce, what's his name, from the wrestler that you said you don't like that guy.
I don't know who.
The guy that announces the wrestlers.
Oh, Bruce Buffer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He had Bruce
wrestlers. He's announces MMA guys. What the fuck are you talking about?
My bad. All right. Well, he has that wrestler voice.
Mm-hmm.
He could announce wrestlers.
Okay.
He had that guy for the infamous announcer, and this time he had his dad. But every time he does it, it seems like he's like a rapper the way it comes out, right? Like he comes out on stage, and it's like a whole like production just with his entrance almost.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I see what you're saying. Yeah.
So
he comes out hard.
Yeah, and he did similar thing with that this time, but instead of it being like normal curtains and shit that you would normally see at a theater, instead there's a gigantic screen behind him. You don't even really know it's a screen until later because he uses it, which I'd like to talk about that later also. But so the impressions of the theater, I feel like is kind of weird because it's a screen. So I'm not really going to take the theater necessarily into consideration for this. I'm just going to go off his outfit.
So yeah, I see what you're saying. There is a giant screen behind him that you don't really notice when you're watching the special. Honestly, I don't think it really I don't really think it plays into it while you're watching it.
Right.
I guess if you're really paying attention hard and they do a wide angle, you can tell if you're looking really hard, but I don't think it's distracting or anything.
Right. But what he's wearing, I thought he looked good. He looked clean.
Fucking terrible.
You don't
It's
like it?
Horrible. He looks like he's wearing a woman's pantsuit. That's what he looks like. If he had shoulder pads in the shirt, he would look like a chick with a giant, ridiculous mustache. That's what he would look like.
I like the white shirt.
His mustache looks like the fake mustache that people use when they're breaking into a bank to rob it.
It's a dad mustache, man.
It looks ridiculous, dude. That's number one thing. He looks ridiculous.
So your biggest hate is the mustache.
The mustache is the worst part. The matching collared shirt with the pants looks like a pantsuit. It looks like Hillary Clinton is doing comedy with a mustache.
10 out of 10.
You're so full of shit.
I
dude.
loved it. It looks
You
comfy.
are so full of
I
shit.
think it looks cool. Sleek,
10
dude.
out of 10.
10
That's
out of
fucking
10.
ridiculous, and you know it.
No, it's not, dude. He's still doing the jacket. Everybody's
Absolutely
doing the jacket
ridiculous.
combo. White shirt. That's what I said Chris DiStefano should have did.
God, dude.
He followed what I said about Chris DiStefano. He did that.
Yeah, he follows you. No, he looked ridiculous. However,
thought he looked cool.
whatever. I mean, he looked fine. It just
Looked comfy.
great. So did Tammy. She looked comfy as shit. Wearing a Wolf t-shirt she got from 7-Eleven and gym shorts.
Don't get me going about Tammy.
Wait, you're telling me Crocs,
Don't get me going about Tammy.
gym shorts, and sleeveless is not as comfy as wearing a pantsuit?
Not when it fits you like it did Tammy.
No, you said we're talking about comfort. You don't think that was comfy as hell? She's wearing a baggy ass sleeveless tee, gym shorts, and Crocs. You don't think that's more comfortable?
I mean, I wouldn't be comfortable wearing that in public.
You know that you're
Looking
not
like
being,
Tammy?
You know you're being ridiculous right now.
Okay. Yeah, but he looked good. So there's the difference. He looked nice, put
All right.
together. I bet you that was like an expensive suit too, whatever that was he was wearing.
Oh God, I hope not. It was
10 out of 10.
See, if you're not going to do that, the rankings accurately, there's really no reason.
Why do I have to hate on?
You don't have to hate on him, but 10 out of 10 is definitely not a legitimate ranking.
No, maybe it is.
All right, dude.
I like it.
All right.
Can't be mad at me for what I like.
Are we going to be able to
Fashionisto
do
is
the rest of this show with his balls in your mouth, or do you want to try to do something?
I hope so.
Okay, good. All right, let's get beyond Fashionisto / visual. I thought the visual, the cinematography and all that, fine. Pretty good.
While we're talking
I wouldn't
about-
say anything bad about
While
it.
we're talking about visual, that screen behind him, there's a couple moments where he utilized that and he had him pull up a picture of him after they found out the gender of their baby and all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the way stand-up is leaning. I think that's the next installment of kind of things to come is more of like a visual show also. So like how he kind of had that picture up behind him, almost like how when you have reels, you're looking at reels on YouTube of people doing stand-up and then they'll edit in like little pictures of whatever they're talking about. If it's like a picture of Donald Trump or whatever, I think I could see stand-up going that way and live performances also.
Yeah, I mean, it's a higher level of production. Certainly, you can't do that.
Right.
You can't do that until you're allowed to do that. If you're a one-off night performer, it's unlikely that you're going to be able to get the venue to agree to have everything. Like essentially, because you need like not a sound check. You need a rehearsal time for that. You'd have to like figure that. I mean, you wouldn't have to, but in order to make sure it goes off right.
Right.
But yeah, he uses it twice. He uses it for a picture of himself when he found out they were pregnant. He uses it for a video montage at the end about sort of their pregnancy journey. Oh God, I hate that I just used the word journey to describe pregnancy, but whatever.
I didn't like it when you said it, but I wasn't going to say anything.
I don't like it. I don't like it at all. It's the type. What are they fucking backpacking to Machu Picchu? No, it's not a journey.
Are they a band?
It's a thing that happened. Journey's just overused. That's all it is.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, yeah, that probably closes the book on the look of it. I think
the visuals.
When we figured out, he had a couple crowd work shots. They weren't obtrusive and they weren't too many of them. And
The
they were
crowd work.
fine.
The crowd
They were
work
fine.
did kind of obviously seemed canned. I thought, but he didn't do a whole
thought
bunch
so?
of it. Yeah.
I thought his crowd work was fine. He got into
it
it
was
and
good.
out of it quickly. I would say that. I mean, there's sometimes I didn't. It seemed like he was using it to get into jokes and stuff, which is I'm not usually a big fan of. But But clearly, I mean, he's fine at it, and he had a couple good retorts.
Yeah. I think it's funny to ask somebody the way he was asking somebody in the audience. Like, you would have no idea a question is coming at you. And then, he asked that lady.
Yeah, that's true. He sort of springs it on him quick.
Yeah.
And it's pretty.
Yeah, you're not going to get the most intelligent answer when somebody's not ready for it.
For sure. I don't
shit.
remember exactly what happened in the crowd work. Oh, other than when he asked the guy when he would go into the sperm donation place, which is a total ambush, by the way. Like, how the hell are you supposed to answer that question?
Yeah.
You've never thought about that in your life, and somebody asks you, what appointment would you have if they did on the hour appointments? When would you go in? And he's just got like, I don't know,
2 p.m.
Yeah. And I was like, okay, fine. That's a fine answer. And then obviously if you thought about it a little longer, you could come up with the same thing Schulz did, which was like
psychopath.
was like, it's going to be used like 6 times before you get in there. That's fucking gross. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
Unfair crowd work. Another
funny.
thing I can use.
Well, he sprung
ambush.
on that lady too. He's like, how many eggs do you drop a month?
Oh yeah,
right.
But you should know that. If you're a chick, you should fucking know how many eggs you drop in a month. Everyone, did you know? Did you know what it was?
Yeah,
yeah,
of course.
Yeah, it's everyone else is 1 a month. If you don't know it's 1 a month and you have a uterus,
that was pretty funny.
You should get a hysterectomy, dude. They should cut it out of you. You shouldn't be allowed to have kids.
That was pretty funny. It's like you drop 1 egg, unless you're at All-Star Weekend.
Yeah.
Your body just starts.
Unfair ambushing of the crowd.
Yeah, that was fun.
-1.
Oh,
-1.
You're trying so hard to hate on a perfect
I'm
special.
not trying to hate. I'm trying to level out the insane amount of love you're giving him.
I haven't even started.
Okay, you want to do a play-by-play of every joke he did and say it was brilliant?
Is that what you want to do?
No, that's not at all what I want to do. Mm-mm. All right. Okay, let's talk about, first of all, we usually do what we liked and our favorite joke. We do have some jokes queued up. We'll do those first, and then we'll talk generally about what we like.
Sure.
I got a feeling this one's going to go like 3 hours, this podcast.
Oh, it's not.
All right. So first joke, we'll do the one we have reserved for you. This is right off the top. This is the very first joke in the special. He talks about how prideful New York people are, and then he comes out.
And this was your favorite joke.
It was my favorite joke, but it's also your favorite. You're using it for favorite, right?
No, I'm using the other one.
I thought. Oh, you're using the other one? I thought I was using the other one.
It doesn't matter. We both I like the whole thing, so I'm
all right.
not picky.
It's good. I'll say this one doesn't. This is dumb, but whatever. This is one of our favorite jokes. Who cares whose it is?
Yes.
This is right out of the top. This is talking about how prideful New York people are, and he leads into this.
Now, Chicago is a very wild place. They're proud of shit they really should not be proud of. They're proud of the tragedies that have happened in their city. They named their soccer team the Chicago Fire. New Yorkers, we love New York. We're not naming a football team the New York 9/11s. We call them the Jets. Guys.
Yeah, it's a great joke. He starts the special with that. That's actually before the title screen or anything, or his introduction.
Mm-hmm.
He also follows that up with we don't name things after, we name things before. That's confidence.
Mm-hmm.
Chicago. And then has another tag. What was the other tag?
Look, it's like it was an inside job.
Or we name it before because that's confidence, or it's like we had previous knowledge because we knew it was an inside job or whatever, something like that. It was very funny. I like that joke a lot. I mean, we're a huge fan of 9/11 on this podcast. If you've ever listened to us, I don't usually like 9/11 jokes. I think that one's really, really clever. The first part of it, if he stopped after if we called it 9/11s, which is oddly similar to Jessup's joke, honestly. Mm-hmm. His drink joke.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm not saying Jessup's Jessup's been doing that joke for a few years. I think he's that one's safe, but it's oddly similar to a friend of ours, Chris Jessup, who does a joke. But if he just would have stopped after, we don't call them the New York 9/11s, I think it would be a pretty weak joke. It would be just like bringing up 9/11 and bringing up 9/11. Okay, I get it, whatever.
Right.
But when he follows it with "No, we call them the Jets," I'm like, fuck, that actually is really. I don't know why I didn't think of that because that's very. I mean, it's kind of right there, but it's also not obvious. So
Yeah.
really like that joke. Really like the multiple tags, and I would say just in general, I think something that we can both agree on is that he's very good at really tagging the shit out of all of his premises and jokes. Like he hits a lot of tags, and if the audience keeps going, he'll keep going, and then he stops when it's appropriate to stop. And I don't know that means. I don't know if all the time he goes through all those jokes because so many of them work all the time, or if he just can feel the energy and just pulls back. But he seems to stop the joke right when it's not going to work anymore. I would venture to guess that's because I'm venturing to guess he has more tags, but he kind of quits when he knows, the crowd's not going to be into it anymore. So really like that.
One thing I
What do you
really
wanna
like
talk
about
about?
that joke is how he pauses before he says 9/11s.
Yeah.
So he lets everybody get there.
Yeah.
And so he gets a laugh almost just off of that silence and then hits the punchline of it,
Yeah.
then gets another laugh and then gets all the laughs on the tags. I think that's just a brilliant move to, if you don't have to, the other way he could have done that joke is not even say the 9/11 part.
Yeah, or he could have said it right away. He could have did what he did, which was pause, then say it,
Right.
or you can just not say it at all.
Right.
Right.
And then just go right to the
Just say what you're
Jets
saying.
tag.
Right.
But yeah, no, I like how he did that. And
But he gets an extra laugh out of it, essentially.
yeah, he does.
Because he's going to get a laugh for the pause if he doesn't say it. He's going to get a laugh for the joke or for the actual joke if he says it. But this way, he gets both. He gets a laugh for the pause and a laugh for the joke,
Right.
which is a great way to do it. You can get away with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that as well. I personally, and we talked about this offline or off air. I personally like it better if he would have liked it better. Not would have liked it. Personally, I would have liked it better. Yeah, if he didn't say the 9/11s at all, because that would have been fun for me.
Right.
But I get why he did, and I think it makes more sense to do what he did. I just would have liked the joke better if he didn't do it.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, because you like taking the credit for you completed the.
Yeah, exactly.
Idea,
Like I like
yeah.
being like in on it and being like, you know what, you actually do have to complete the thought in order to get this joke,
Right.
rather than so you have to do a little bit of legwork. It makes you feel high and mighty.
But the cool part about that is he did still make people do the legwork.
Yeah, well, he
Even
lets
though-
he lets you try to finish before him.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Did you? There's a later joke that he actually we're gonna play that one next. You'll notice in this joke, he doesn't complete the joke at all, and he doesn't need to. There's really no reason, and you'll see why for a couple reasons. But let's just get to that one. We're gonna call this Colton's favorite joke, although you could just say that about every single thing that Andrew Schulz said. It's pretty much your favorite joke. So this is talking about. Well, you know what? I don't even think we need to bring it up. The general idea is circumcisions. And he's talking about different religions and how they approach circumcision.
Well, he's talking about the comparison between Jews and Muslims and how Muslims are trying to outdo Jews.
Well, that's in the clip.
Is it?
dude.
Okay, cool. All right. I'm just helping.
All right. Okay, here we go. Here is Andrew Schultz. You just do the whole joke. We don't have to play the clip. Here we go. Here's Andrew Schultz again.
We got some Muslims here tonight? All right, so you guys know why you do it. Non-Muslims usually don't, but the reason why Muslims circumcise is because Muslims are always trying to out-Jew the Jews. This is a sibling rivalry as old as time. Like, how many times a day do they pray? We'll pray 5 times a day. Fuck it, let's go. How many days do they not eat? We won't eat for the whole month. We'll take the fucking whole month. They just circumcised the boys?
That was the second joke that we picked for our favorite jokes. Great joke.
Yeah, excellent.
Great joke. You can really see the difference in not completing that one.
Right.
You're already alluding to female circumcision, which is a very difficult topic to get a
Yeah.
laugh on. You don't want to say it if you
Didn't
don't
even
have to.
say it. Yep. And still got the laugh. And if you
Yep. And it's accurate. It's a really, really well done joke, I think. If you can get beyond like your own emotions about it, because I guarantee he gets more hate mail or negative comments about that joke more than any other joke in the entire special.
Yeah, you're probably right.
And it's just because of the subject matter. People do not think you should joke about that at all. And I get that. I think
and
it's wrong.
If
but
you
I
are
get it.
not, that's good. Uh,
What do you mean?
Oh, I think it's wrong. Yeah, no, it's good. It is wrong.
Really? Oh no, I'm not saying female circumcision is wrong. It is. It is. No, but I'm saying the
I'm not
idea.
saying that's bad.
No. How can I dig a bigger hole? No, what I'm saying is I think that that people will just judge the joke based on just solely what it is, and I think that's wrong. Like it's about a subject they don't like, so there's like it can't be funny, and I just don't agree with that. I never have. It's clearly Andrew Schulz doesn't because he gets wild on some of his jokes, but I think we agree on that. But because I think it's wrong. Like, oh yeah, good. It's female. No. I love it. Cut them all off. I don't give a shit.
Oh God, yeah, he won't say it. Jay will.
Absolutely.
Jay's got it. Yeah, I think it's great too.
It's just because I have envy. It's like it's huge, dude.
I think it's great to not say it, just like what you were saying, because it's the subject matter is tough. Also, not everybody might not get that joke.
Sure.
And for those of you that don't get it, that's fine. I'm not going to make you get it. You didn't follow. It's fine.
Also, you can't be offended by it if you don't get it.
Exactly. You would probably be offended if I had to write it out for you. Just kind of ruins it.
Right. Just the setup of that joke, too. I mean, a lot of time, you get a lot of, I guess that's not totally true. You get a lot of, in America, in the United States, you get a lot of Christians versus Jews joke. Mm-hmm. And to like bring up the fact, and obviously there's a small conflict in Israel that's been going on for a little bit of time where the Muslims and the Jews have been at each other. But you don't get a lot of that if not talking about Israel as the conflict point, just talking about how old they are. I feel like it's a way to bring in, like, you realize those are the two old religions from way back in the day, right? And there is this, to describe it as a sibling rivalry takes something very aggressively violent and aggressively like horrible, right? They're both sides have committed some pretty terrible atrocities on each other, and makes it like kind of fun, not fun, but it makes
it sillies it
sibling
up.
rivalry, sillies it up. Perfect.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, definitely. So I really like that joke's. Yeah, it probably is my favorite joke. The Jess one's great too. I like both of those. There's a lot of other stuff in there, obviously, that we both liked. So those are our jokes, specific jokes. What do you want to talk about that you liked outside of those specific jokes? Just subject matters you want to talk about.
What jokes I liked outside of that?
No, not what jokes.
Just what I liked.
Just concepts. Just conceptually, what did you like about the special or whatever?
So
just go anywhere.
One thing I really liked was how he did self-deprecation. I thought a little bit differently, because every scenario that he's in, maybe like with his wife and everything, is they're struggling to have a baby, and how he is acting like it is not his fault. His arrogance of just being like, I'm good, I'm the shit. Like, if I want to get you pregnant,
where you want me to put it? What do you want me to? Yeah. I
just got to finish the deadlift.
The first time, the first time that they were trying for a kid or whatever, and she was talking about how it might be difficult, and he was just like, nah, whatever. And then the first time they had sex, he like looks at her and goes, got him. He definitely got her. He had this like arrogance about how
this crazy
shit was going to work and everything. Yeah.
And so I love that. And then every corner, because he does that kind of through that whole group of jokes.
Yeah.
And I love how every corner that he is just getting slapped with like this reality of like, your arrogance is wrong. Yeah. And it's just an interesting way to self-deprecate on yourself. It's just not what you see normally. I thought it was very cool.
It's Charlie Brown getting the football pulled away from himself, although he's setting it up for himself every time. He's the one holding it, like that kind of thing, where he's constantly setting himself up to be disappointed because of his arrogance, and then he is disappointed. I like that too. I thought that was good.
Just something a little bit different I haven't really seen from stand-ups.
Oh, I think,
I'm not saying that nobody's ever done it.
I feel like it's probably a little more common than you might know. You might not notice it quite as much in other comics.
Well, he just leans so heavy on the arrogance.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
He lays on the arrogance.
Yeah. Well, he has sort of an arrogant persona.
Yeah, and the confidence.
Although it's really... It almost isn't though. Like it's kind of like it's it's the New York guy arrogance where you're like, he's not really arrogant, he's just a New Yorker. You know what I mean? Like sort of that bravado that's more of a personality trait, but it's not really, there's nothing nefarious behind it. There's nothing ill-willed behind it. That's what he strikes me as. You know what I mean? And I think it seems like very much that would be his personality just overall. I've never listened to him on a podcast, but I bet he sounds like that on a podcast.
Oh yeah. He's very much a slave to the punchline, I think. So me and Phil were kind of talking about it, and that's what Phil said, and I was like, "That's a fact." Dude.
Whoa, slave! Whoa, can't bring up slavery.
Oh, I'm the bad one.
Yeah, whoa. I mentioned this before. He's got tags everywhere, and he uses a lot of language, a lot of terms that are to describe the same thing over and over again with different terminology, or using weird, odd words. Something I really like that, like Harry Riley, a local comic that we love here, does. Instead of saying lefty, he says non-dominant. Give me some of that non-dominant. He's talking about this whatever. It doesn't really matter. The point is he uses uses non-dom or non-dominant to describe someone's left hand rather than using left hand, which is fine, but it's also like just not as interesting. And he uses
Elmer's to describ his
Elmer's
sperm.
because
He's got that sticky icky.
Yeah,
I got that Elmer's.
He uses Elmer's. He uses and the one I was thinking of was to describe a circumcision. He uses calamari. Now, that's not these. None of these are like things that I haven't heard before, but he uses them so many different terms. Excuse me, interchangeably. It's just a different way to describe things, and I think it always adds a little bit of juice to your jokes.
Yeah.
When you can pepper in that terminology that's just kind of off the beaten path a little bit.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
and he uses some of those as tags too, so that he can kind of just keep dropping tags. And be descriptive at the same time.
Yep.
Yeah.
Something I think we both like. Another thing I wanted to bring up. So he does this entire. The entire special is about him and his wife trying to get pregnant, and there are a few key moments in the special, including he does like this video montage thing, with about 10 minutes left, I would say. But he goes from he's telling jokes the whole time, but there's these moments of like real emotion that are, he's in the middle of telling all these jokes. He's telling a bunch of jokes. However, there'll be a turn where it's like, oh shit. Bad things happen, right? And so they get disappointed in some way or whatever. And he lets that disappointment be a part of the show. Like, yes, they're a little bit disappointed, or this was a terrible thing, blah blah blah. Or he felt really bad that his wife couldn't get pregnant, and it was his fault because he had low motility in his sperm, and and he says something to her about like, I feel really bad about it, and he's very sorry about it. And she's like, it's not your problem, it's our problem. Like, we have problems, we're going to solve our problems. You know what I mean? Just like these special moments. He gets into these emotional things. They were very emotional. We talked about it before. I cried when I saw it the first time. Second time I didn't. You cried every time like a little bitch.
Cried 3 times. Put it on right now. I'll cry.
But no, it's very. it was enough to draw big emotions out of you. But then immediately he doesn't dwell on it.
Right.
He does it for the purpose, and he shows you like this is a real emotional thing. This is really what happened. And then he gets right back to the jokes.
It felt like he was just giving you kind of a sneak peek into his life, even though.
Yeah, absolutely. And then he was like, but this is a comedy show, so we're going to do comedy. I'm not going to sit here and beat you over the head with my trauma or with my, I hate it.
Oh, same.
When I see a special that's 45 minutes long and 40 minutes of it is your trauma dumping, I'm like, this sucks.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry.
I really liked how he did that too. Well, and because everything he's saying through the whole time before he hits that video is like, it's comedy that's like kind of set up punchline, like, so everything he's saying, you're kind of like, waiting for it. And then when it gets,
Zing.
and then it gets real and it's like, oh shit. It kind of just hits you. It's almost just another turn, but instead of being funny, it's just real.
But it's real emotion. And there's a sincerity to the story that he has, that I think he's just really good at being honest about it, but also making as much he can about the jokes, but then at some point going like, well, I do have to tell the story, and it'd be disingenuous to pretend like it wasn't a heart-wrenching situation,
right?
Even though I don't want to belabor that point,
right?
So
yeah, I thought that was beautifully well done.
Yeah, that was the most impressive part for me.
And then to bring it back, because then after the video, you're kind of like in this weird state, and he's kind of just like, okay, I got a couple jokes left for you, blah blah blah, and just kind of hops right back in.
And he didn't end with it, which you mentioned that it was really important. I actually would have been fine with it, but I think I liked that he didn't do it that way.
Yeah. But I knew he wasn't going to, because that's just not his style.
It didn't seem like. Oh, I actually also knew how far in we were. I'm like, he's got way too much time. Unless he's going to do this for the next 15 minutes, he's got problems. But
right. Because even the video wasn't that long.
No, it was. It's probably maybe a minute.
Yeah,
I don't even think it was a minute. It was probably 45 seconds.
Yeah. And then just jumping right back into jokes.
Jump right back into jokes. Had some good ones after that. And
Yeah, had some great ones. And then he almost he did a Staten Island joke in the beginning of the special, right? And he's like, "Oh, we'll talk about that later."
yeah.
And then he closed his last joke.
I mean, the first thing he said was like Staten Island was the people who are basically like the hillbillies of New York in a sense. I mean, that's not what he says, but that's kind of what he's saying.
right. And then his last
Like
joke.
they're the white trashiest part, and but we'll talk about that later. He said,
Yeah.
There's
then-
a genetic reason for that, and we'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
His very last joke.
Yeah, and then he wraps it all. He almost calls forward. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, I wonder. I really wonder if that was accidental or on purpose. Like, I wonder if he
Sure it was
almost
on
said
purpose.
the joke, and he's like, "Oh shit, I don't want to do that because I'm going to end with that."
I think it was all on purpose.
You think so?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Dude,
I don't know.
ending on a
I think it's a
callback-
weird thing to do. I think it's a weird thing to do it that way. I didn't especially like that particular setup. Saying it. It's not
like
it's
saying we'll get back to that or
saying
whatever.
we're going to talk about that later. That part I don't think that's the part I don't think is necessary.
Yeah. But
Does it
that's
say
one
anything
sentence,
about Staten Island and then coming back and actually completing the joke? Fine, but like the part where he says he's going to say it later, I think is unnecessary. It's not a big deal, but that's just
though? Yeah.
something
I think
noticed.
you might get an extra
I-
boost on it
see-
too, being a callback.
Yeah, I think that my theory is this. My theory is he was about to say the joke because he had him rolling and he was ready and he was like, "Oh, I'm going to do that." And he's like, "Oh shit, I don't want to do that because I'm planning on closing with that." And so he's like, "Yeah, we'll talk about that later." You know
Got
what I
it.
mean? Like, so he kind of started it and he's like, "Yeah, we'll get to it later."
Yeah.
I don't know though. I mean, obviously, maybe when he's on the podcast, we'll ask him.
Yeah. Someday.
Someday when he's on the podcast, we will ask him. Anything else you want to talk about? I mean, I know you like a bunch of shit, but pick another subject that you like. We'll do about one more of these, and then we'll get on to kind of some other stuff.
Okay. Well, since we're on that Staten Island subject, he did have that one joke too of the doctor coming in and looking at his wife's vag or whatever and being like,
Yeah.
"Oh, it's a 4." And he's like, just the ignorance and just like, it's not a 4.
So the OBGYN comes in and sticks her finger up there, and then starts calling out numbers, right, to talk about how dilated she is.
Yeah.
And she's like 4, and then
And he's like, "Do that thing."
he's like, "That's a 10." He's like, "Oh, push it,
Yeah.
clench down, hold it."
It's not a 4. I've been to Staten Island. Yeah.
Yeah, got you.
Yeah. No, I like that. Bevan really liked that joke too. There's a lot of funny stuff.
Conceptually, what do you want to talk about? Because the specific jokes, I think it will get more
Okay.
out of it if you talk about just conceptually what you liked, additional things that you liked.
I feel like we kind of covered
You
conceptually.
think so?
what I liked
Okay.
about
Yeah,
it.
then go ahead and do a joke or whatever. That's fine.
Oh no, I'm
just didn't
good.
wanna,
Like I said, dude, I liked a lot of it, and I'm a huge fan.
Yeah.
I drove 15 hours I didn't drive. I took a 15-hour train ride to go to his show in Seattle once.
To go to his show?
Yeah,
When was that?
it was in Seattle. I could probably pull up a year for you. It was
It's so crazy.
3
it's a
years ago.
15-hour fucking train. From where?
3 years ago. From Spokane.
So stupid.
But it was in the middle of winter, right? So
Dude.
the pass closed. I couldn't drive.
yeah, no.
The flights, there was no flying.
But 15 hours, dude.
Well, we got rerouted through
Oh,
Portland. So we left Spokane at like
That's a 30-minute trip in Europe. You know what I mean? Like those assholes. Let's get some train travel, bitches. Come on.
I know. So
Colton and Jay, pro train travel.
pro trains.
I love trains.
Yeah. So 3 a.m, we left. It was about that time. Trains leave at the worst possible time imaginable.
Yeah, absolutely, dude.
Yeah, it's never nice.
The train station's only open from like 2 to 5 a.m. That's it.
Yeah, and it's danger zone if
Oh.
you're in that. Oh my god. Yeah, be strapped. So
Like,
anyways,
it's a homeless shelter, essentially.
yeah, it is. So 3 a.m. Then we get rerouted. They take us to Portland.
Yeah.
And then from Portland, then to Seattle.
Yeah,
And we got there an
it's a
hour
12-hour
before the show.
layup.
An hour before the show started.
No, dude. Did you get a sleeper?
Yes.
Gotta get a sleeper.
Of course,
dude.
man.
Big
Join the
time.
Iron Rail Club. Pretty cool.
Whoa. The Iron Rail Club.
Yep.
Is that the Mile High Club for
Trains.
For train
Yeah.
people? Okay. That makes sense.
Hell yeah.
I wish Mom would take care of Quincy.
Oh, I thought you were going to say it.
I wish Mom would join the Iron Rails Club with me.
So funny.
Gross. Yeah.
But yeah, so no, I've loved Andrew for a long time.
Yeah.
And we were going to go to his show. We were going to go
He
see this
canceled.
special, and he canceled.
Yeah. I mean, I imagine most of it would have been the special. I don't know. I don't really know that for sure, but I would imagine.
Yeah, I would have been curious to see what jokes
That's
didn't make
always
it.
fun. I like
Yeah.
watching people before they do a special, have them come through. I mean, Nate Bargatze did that. I mean, we'll see. We'll see what Shane Gillis's next special is, but how much of that was in what we saw. Just people like that.
I noticed some of what he did was in his monologue for SNL.
Oh, interesting. His latest one, or
Yeah, the latest
Oh,
one.
I didn't see that one. You know, you haven't noticed they're letting SNL be a lot edgier than they have been in a while.
I've
Just in
noticed that
general,
too.
they must be struggling for numbers, or they just realize, like, dude, we can't just like not be like, oh, we can't do this, we can't do that. You know what I mean? Like, this is comedy, dude. Let's get it going.
Yeah.
What we didn't like? Is there anything you didn't like? You mentioned one thing you didn't love earlier. I forget what it was.
Oh, it was. That's in my How I'm Better.
Oh, let's not give it away then. We don't want to
Okay.
mention it 3 times.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep. No, I thought it was great. I thought he looked amazing. 10 out of 10. And
Unbelievable.
I just love the art of the joke. He's somebody that's just all
he's a good
about
joke.
the art. Fucking love the art.
I liked. I mean, what we didn't like. I didn't. All right, I'm gonna. This is for sure the main thing I didn't like about it. At the end of the day, with all of the emotion and all of the everything that this special has, and it's a good special. At least half, if not 2/3 of it, is a long cum joke. Like it's sex and cum the whole time.
Yeah.
And I just don't. He can write good jokes, man. He can write good. I'm not asking him to be clean. I'm asking him to just a little bit.
Yeah.
Like go into some other areas. And if it wasn't that, it was racial shit, which I like that too. But it's like, man, for how good the 10% of the special isn't about sex and race, I wish there were more of it. You know what I mean? I wish I had more of that. But yeah, I mean, that's really the main thing. And I thought, honestly, I really didn't like the look. I did not like. I mean, the mustache is horrific. The mustache is terrible. And I didn't like the shirt pants combo. I mean, that's really all I can say.
Well, and he's not. I mean, like, you know, he has cum jokes for sure. He has dirty jokes. He's kind of always been that side of comedy.
Sure.
But at the same time, yeah, we did get more of that with this because the special is called Life. It is about him. I mean, more of it's stories than it is actual. Just like, oh, here's a cum joke to be a cum joke. You know, I feel like there's more.
I'm not. I wouldn't
shit to it.
I wouldn't argue with that. But it's still just too. It's more than I wanted, right? I would have preferred the special to be to have less of that and a little more other things. But whatever. I mean, it was still really good. 4 out of 10, very good.
Whoa, no.
All right, so that's what we didn't like. There's not a lot of it there. We both enjoyed the special. I'm sure we're supposed to not like him for some reason. That's what somebody told me, and I don't know what it is. Well, that's what my brother's girlfriend said, that we don't like him. She said, we don't like him anymore. And I'm like, who's we? And she's like, black people. And I'm like, oh, damn it. I didn't know you guys were united like that. You know what I mean?
Well, he's Team Drake, dude.
Is he?
Yep.
All right. Oh, yeah, that's right. He talked shit about Kendrick Lamar. Or
he had shits and gigs on his podcast on Flagrant.
Who the fuck is that a person?
It's 2 guys, and they're
Dude,
from.
What the fuck? They're named Shits and Gigs?
I think that's Shits and Giggles. That's the name of their pod.
That's so fucking dumb.
Anyways,
oh, that's not their names. That's the name of their pod.
Yeah.
Oh fuck! I thought they were like a rap duo called Shits and Gigs.
No, that's the name.
And
of
I was
their
like,
pod.
that's
I don't know
horrible.
what their names are.
Okay.
But he had them on their pod. They're big in UK or whatever, right?
Okay.
And somehow he was asking them like what race they prefer to date or whatever.
Oh, huh.
And then he made jokes in there. Those guys, everything was fine with it, right? Like everybody knew it was jokes, whatever. Then those guys started getting like belabored online. Like, why didn't you stick up for black women or whatever when he was making those jokes? And so they put out an apology, right, saying that they're sorry. And Schulz is like, "Yo, why are you saying you're sorry, dude? We were joking, you were laughing. We told you we could take out whatever you wanted of the pod.
Okay,
you didn't even bring it
Interesting.
up." Right. It was this weird drama kind of.
I wish I wouldn't have brought this up, to be honest with you. I shouldn't have brought this up. Keep going.
Yeah, okay. So
I already asked you. Like,
so anyways, Kendrick Lamar then made
best rapper of all time. Got it.
Okay. Don't like that. Kendrick Lamar, then he has a song where he mentions no white comedian should talk about no black woman. That's law.
Oh, that's right.
And so that is supposed to be a shot.
Yep.
Well, it could be multiple people, but Andrew took that as a shot at him.
Sure. He's in trouble because, that's why you like Drake. It's because of Andrew Schulz.
No, man. I was riding with Drake from the beginning. Stop that.
Okay, that's why you like Andrew Schulz because of Drake.
No. They just both know the right side to be on. They're both on my team. If you think about it,
If you think
they
about
both
it,
sided with me.
they're both Colton stands.
Yeah, that's how I like to look at it.
You heard it here first, folks.
Anyways, sorry guys.
Colton
I know that was a
Drake.
long-winded
Nah, it
way
was
to
fine.
explain all that.
It was fine. I shouldn't have asked about it because you would have been able to give me a little bit tighter of a reference if I wouldn't have put you on the spot like that. But yeah, okay. But in general,
I'm just happy I
forgot
had
about
it though. I had it. I
Boom.
knew it.
in the tank, dude. All right, so
I know stuff.
that's your Colton Drake, and and Andrew Schulz minute right there, and a little Kadisha mixed in. My brother's girlfriend, Kadisha. We don't like him. Oh, we don't like him anymore. That's okay. Oh, that's what she said when he canceled. Actually, it's like, that's okay. We don't like him anymore. I'm like, we? Fuck is we? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I love him.
And I'm like, really, you don't like him because?
Yeah.
Anyway, black women like to stick together because they're marginalized as a people, and so they gotta take up for one another. And so sometimes it's a little bit over the top. That's all. I get it. As a black woman, I understand. Understand what it feels like.
That's it. You're
All
canceled.
right, let's do why I'm better. It's why I'm better time.
All right.
This is going to be very interesting. Do you want me to go or do you want to go?
Mine's not going to be like yours, Avi.
Well, we'll see.
So I'll go.
It's not like yours. It's not like yours. It's not like yours.
Yeah, I got it. All right. How am I
Say Colton
better? I hear you like I'm dumb.
Hey, you guys. As you know, this segment is entitled "Why I'm Better." Who better than Colton Drake and Jay Berg, maestros of comedy, to lay the smack down on the worst maestros of comedy, on the worst comics of all time, like our friend Mr. Andrew Schulz. Now, of course, let's talk about Andrew Schulz. And why are you better than Andrew Schulz?
I'm better than Andrew Schulz because I am not circumcised. That's
Hey-o.
right, Andrew. Suck it. You have an emo dick. That's it. Okay.
You're better because you're not circumcised. There we go.
Yeah.
Hey,
They didn't cut off
that is
30% of my
Colton
sensors
Drake.
or whatever.
Colton Drake is better than Andrew Schulz because he's not circumcised.
Living that uncut
I didn't know you were
life.
uncut, dude. I didn't know that.
Living that uncut, dude. I'm like a ribeye.
I mean, that makes sense. Jehovah's Witnesses are weird about that, about everything. So they're like, yeah.
No, it's not a Jehovah's Witness thing.
Oh, it's not? Oh,
No.
shit.
It's a Mexican father thing. Shout out to my dad.
Is that
Also uncirced.
is that usual, like for the Mexican community, or is it just your dad?
I don't know. I'm not looking at Mexican dicks a lot.
No, not a lot. Why are you keep pointing at the camera? We're not fucking.
Having fun, man.
What are you doing, you weirdo?
Just trying to have fun.
No fun. There's no fun in here. All right. Well, I've been paid in Lions Club luncheons before, so I'm a pretty damn good comedian, and I can tell you why I'm better than Andrew Schulz. Andrew Schulz, why are you dressed like a female politician to do for your special, dude? You should have been wearing shoulder pads with that shit. I said it before. That pantsuit was horrific. It was a horrible color, and I don't even know what color it was because I'm colorblind. Your mustache looked like a stick-on mustache that you get from like a play shop. Your look was pretty rough, dude. And I don't need 90%. If you could have got your wife pregnant the first time, you wouldn't even have any material for a special. So basically, all your special is about how much of a dipshit you are. So you're trash. Your special's trash. Andrew Schulz, baby.
And it was excellent. Best one of the year.
That was very good. I also have a surprise for Colton before we get off the subject of the special.
You have a surprise for me.
I have a surprise for you. So, as you know, we always put out a post on Mondays that has the comedian we're going to do, their cover art, and I tag you, and I say, hey, we did this, and I always tag them as well. Well, look what we got back from our boy Andrew Schulz, baby.
No way.
Yeah,
what?
Dude. It's got a little fire mention in the story, dude.
Oh, that's awesome,
Yeah,
man.
I figured I didn't know if you saw it or not, so I was gonna surprise you if you didn't see it.
that.
Yeah,
That
so
makes my day.
yeah, so your boy Jay Berg got a little fire emoji from Andrew the Bandrew Schultz poo,
Oh, bro, that is so awesome.
and he's gonna unfire it once he hears this episode, which I'm sure he'll listen to.
man.
Isn't that fun? That's
That
very
is
fun.
awesome.
That's our biggest celebrity interaction
Oh, man, dude.
so far. So yeah, big time.
Love you, Andrew, dude.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, it was a great special. We had a great time with it.
That is the best thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, dog. I'll take a screenshot and send it to you.
I hate that it's on yours.
I know. I was gonna say he's gonna be so pissed. You're looking through your phone, seeing if he did that on yours, aren't you?
Yeah.
Knew it, dude. Knew it. All right. So if you want to be like Andrew Schulz, keep listening to our podcast, obviously, because he's a huge fan. Let's do listener mail. We have none. And Mom's menu this week was pork chop, twice stuffed potatoes, salad. It was, as Colton would say,
Fibromyalgia.
I knew you were going to say it. I didn't even have to nice.
It.
Fibromyalgia, obviously. Hey, are you ready for This Week in Plumbing?
Oh, This Week in Plumbing.
This is going to be interesting since you did not work last week.
I didn't work out last week.
But you know what? Everybody, our favorite plumber from the local fofo
I'll go 44, baby.
is Colton Drake, and he's going to tell us about This Week in Plumbing. Go for it, buddy.
Okay, so this week in plumbing, I am working on radon, where I'm having to have my apprentices core drill holes through footings in the concrete so that we can run radon pipe. And they're also drilling out a whole apartment building, and it better be done this week or they're going to have hell to deal with. As in, I'm going to give them a demerit sticker. And that's it.
No. Are you going to burn Pokemon cards in front of them again?
No, they're not Pokemon fans. So,
Ah, shit.
yeah. I'm still
They
trying
like
to figure
pussy.
out. Yeah, one of them really likes God. I'm trying to figure out what to do with it.
Oh, you can send a letter to his priest or something. I don't know what you do, dude.
I'll tell him what to do on
Wait,
weekends.
so because you guys didn't get to work last week, you're behind schedule, and then they're like, "You better get this done this week."
That's how it goes, dude.
That's
yeah.
such bullshit, though.
Yeah, that's the story of my life.
All right,
that's
that
it.
was This Week in Plumbing with Colton Drake. Back at it, back behind the wrench, back digging holes, back touching pipe.
Yep, back touching pipe.
Right on. He's no longer in Fortniting, although you made a lot of progress. I'm proud of you for that.
Progress, yeah.
Still yelling out instructions to Bev like a foreman, though. Hey,
Well,
give me some of that blast core.
Yeah, she needs to make those storm shakes, dude.
Got to make them storm shakes. If you know, you know. Storm shakes. All right, you guys. That was This Week in Plumbing. We're running the bend here, buddy. Here we got IG follower count, dude. Let me know what you're doing. I mean, I have one new follower, but it's Andrew Schulz. So
Shut up. Is it?
No, of course not.
All right, good.
No, he's not following me. Are you kidding me? If he followed me, you don't think I would lead with that? Oh my god.
Oh my god, I'd end my life.
I would
right
have
now.
buried the lead so bad on that one.
Just kidding.
Just fanning out right now. All right, so last week I was at 432. You were at 448. You won last week. I gained 2 followers. I'm at 434.
I was at 448 last week.
You were at 448 last week.
Dude, I am just dwindling down.
Oh, what'd you got now?
446.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah, I hit 450, and now I'm at
I thought you were at
446.
448 last time I saw. Shit.
Let's just go off of your last look.
We'll just do what you do. Colton Drake. Well, either way, we'll check the numbers later. But either way, I get you this week. It's another win for old Jay Berg. He takes the lead on 8-7
It's
overall.
all right. It's cool.
That's all right, baby.
It's all right.
We're a team, dude. We're
Yeah. We're almost.
we got a
1,000 with
net
each
zero.
other.
We got net zero this week.
Yeah.
I pulled my end. You got to pull your end, baby.
Well, I would have done well if they didn't unfollow me. Dude. It must have been bots.
They're bots, dude.
Total bots.
Bots are always unfollowing you and following you and unfollowing you.
Hella bots.
All right, let's talk about who you listen to, man. That's next up.
Ooh, Danny Jolly.
Yeah, Danny Jollis.
Danny Jolly.
We went and saw him on Saturday. Excellent show. Super funny, dude.
Yeah,
really
fun. Tight jokes.
Real tight. Great act outs. He's definitely got the acting bone, you can tell. Or the acting chaps, should
Yep.
say, and the you can tell.
Theatrics.
Theatrical. Great. Learned it in marching band, I'm sure. All that. That's one of his jokes. So that's Danny Jollis. That is DANNYJOLLES. All one word on Instagram if you want to check that out. And my follow this week, also just performed at the Spokane Comedy Club last night. Erica Rhodes, super duper funny. Her Instagram is ERICARHODES. Just her name, one word. We got easy ones to follow this time.
Yeah, she's also very funny.
Super funny. She had a great joke last night about
Yeah, it was about serial killers.
Oh,
and
that's
how,
right.
about the ranking the hotness of serial killers.
ranking the hot and how Luigi isn't that awesome, not that hot because he's not as good at his job as like Ted Bundy. So those are our 2 follows. Give them a chance. Erica Rhodes, Danny Jolles. It's hard to say his name right.
I know. I want to say Jolly every time.
Yeah, it's Jolles. So I'm always say like, oh, yay. Or, like trying to like banish it up. You know what I mean? But yeah, he just pronounced it Jolles, which seems like wrong.
Yeah.
I hate to tell people that they're pronouncing their own name wrong, but I'm pretty close with him. Like, dude, I'm pretty sure you're getting that wrong.
Yeah, you don't know your name, I don't think.
All right, so that is that. I think that pretty much brings us to the end of the episode. We have who we're listening to upcoming gigs. Yeah, tell me about your upcoming gigs there, Colton Drake.
I'm hosting the American Misfits show at the Spokane Comedy Club, March 27th through the 29th. So I think that's 5 shows total.
Cool.
Come
Thursday
out to
through
those
Sunday?
if you can. Yeah, it's Dave Lundow and Michael Loftus. Both funny guys. I've worked with Michael Loftus before. I really like him. He's cool.
Hell yeah.
And then the 21st, March 21st, I'm hosting a K-Dog show, which is a Korean corn dog show. Well,
obviously.
Yeah, I guess it's a Korean corn dog restaurant. Well, I don't know
Whatever
how
it
to
is.
say it.
I'm
doing a show for
Korean
Korean corn dogs.
Is it Neon Moon, right?
Yeah, Neon Moon.
What time is it again? No, you don't know what
Nobody
time it is.
Yeah.
It's sometime between 5 p.m. and midnight
Yep.
in one of the time zones.
Yeah, I'll know more when I find out more. We kind of just
Yeah,
landed
that'd be
this
cool.
one, so.
Right on. I don't have anything coming up for the foreseeable future. I'm going on vacation here in a couple weeks. Next week, Colton, we have Bill Burr.
Hell yeah.
His new special, Drop Dead Years. So we are on a run of some great comics.
Yes, we
that
are.
one comes out on Friday, this Friday, March 14th. It's on Hulu, another hilarious special, man.
Uh-huh.
We're smashing over. Although I don't know if this is an official hilarious special or it's just one that they're getting. I'm not sure. We'll figure it out. But Bill Burr's special, Drop Dead Years. And we'll have Bill Burr take us out. But first, I've been Jay Berg. Great episode. Had a great time.
I've been Colton Drake. Bye-bye.
I'm 56. This is too young to die of natural causes, but it's not too young to drop dead, right? Dropping dead is a uniquely male experience, right? When was the last time some woman, hey, I can't have my mouth done, just grabs her chest and face down into some tapas? Oh my God, Kathy! I'm getting along with my wife better than I ever have. We've been together for like 11 years, and I started thinking like, you're not in it. You have no idea what is going on. I could never chain to a radiator, all right? My buddy dies, I show up to the funeral, open casket. I don't get it. It's like, you told me he was dead. I believed you. This is new easy going, Bill.